BKFC debut of Ben Rothwell, and his fight lasted 19 seconds. Excuse me, I don't want to shortchange Bobo O'Bannon. 19 seconds, didn't get a punch landed on him. He came out, he starched him. An incredible debut for Big Ben. He joins us now via the magic of Zoom. There he is, the winner. Hello, Ben. How are you? Congrats.
Appreciate it. Hey, let's just jump in and talk about that whole seconds thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So the night of the fight, I'm just taking it in, did my thing. So I've been watching the replays, and so I listen for the bell and I count, and then he's hitting the ground and I put my hands up. And if you look on the official timer, it says 1 minute, 57 seconds. So that's 3 seconds. And he hits the ground, and they give him a 10 count that I can't do anything about. Well, that adds up to 13 seconds. So people are making my mind. I'm like, I don't understand math here or something, because it doesn't, they're saying 18, 19. I don't get it. So can you help me out?
Listen,
that's
far be it for me. You should ask Dave Feldman this question. All I know, initially when I saw it, honestly, I thought it was like 7 seconds, to be honest, when I initially saw it. It's all happening so quick. But, ultimately it doesn't matter. Incredible. Could you have, did you even dream of a debut like that? Was that in your, when you were thinking about the fight, or were you buckling up for a long, we've seen some of these fights in BK, the guys look like hell afterwards. You don't have a scratch on your face.
Yeah, it definitely can be brutal in watching it. Visualization happens. You do it all the time. You're like, the fight's going to go like this. And in MMA, all the time, you think of 1,000 scenarios, and 1,001 is the one that happens in MMA. You hear guys all the time talk about it. But I came in with a huge chip on my shoulder. I had my last fight on my mind. Bobo's manager actually took it upon himself to post that fight and said, "Oh, I see. This is how the fight's going to go." And that made me, pretty upset, and I took it personal. So I came out. It was time, man. I said, I've been holding back for so long. I really feel that way. And I just came out and I said, I didn't care how long it was. I was going to keep throwing like that until that fight ended. I don't care if it was a minute of me throwing like that, 5 rounds of me throwing. I was prepared to go like that. It just, it was 5 seconds. And, you see things in your head, but it came out pretty much the way it was in my head. Yeah.
You had been in the UFC for so long, now in a new promotion. What was it like? The week, did you feel like you were being treated well? Did you like the experience? Did you feel like you were home? What was it like?
Yeah. David Feldman has really did something incredible with starting this. And the promotion, everything, I got, for being such a new promotion, look how many shows they're doing. I mean, they're really doing an amazing job. They're getting it out there. They're going around the world with this. They're getting it sanctioned in all the states, United States right now. They're working on a new state every month, it seems like. They're doing a really good job. And in the good ways, I kind of feel like the IFL again, in the good ways. It's just cool. And I'm like, I have an opportunity to become like a superstar with these guys. And I'm the most excited is to help them grow this thing, because this is skyrocketing. I guess the coolest thing about this, really, I'm getting tons, and everybody's excited about the knockout. But for me personally, the coolest thing was all the new people that never watched it before, fans, my family, friends, and I'd ask them before my fight, "What'd you think?" They're like, "Ben, this was awesome. It was so exciting, man. These fights were great, man. They're all knockouts. They're all finishes." Girlfriends and wives of my buddies that watch, they're like, sometimes it's hard to watch MMA. We get bored, but we were watching all the fights. We were excited. And I'm like, man, that is just really, really exciting for me to hear that. And people that come to the live event, they're even more excited. They're like, man, the way the punch hits the head and the sound effect. Oh, and it was just like all awesome things. And it's really exciting for me.
I felt to a degree like you were also comfortable, and you were back home. I saw the walkout. It felt like the old Ben, right? Like pre-uniform UFC days, right? You had the hood over your head. You did the laugh. Like, I just felt like we got to see your character, and you told us that this was going to happen. Like, we got to see this side of you again, which I feel like we haven't seen for a while. Did you feel the same?
The the cloak more than anything. It's like my shield of the stupidity and the nonsense, and it puts me into that mode that I truly need to get into, that switch that we always talk about. And in my past fights, I didn't click into that switch. I was kind of like thinking about the fight. I became hesitant. I lost fights that I should not have lost. And it like I said, I really came with a chip on my shoulder. And the cloak was on and the switch was flipped. And I got to be that person that you guys, the one that you like to see. I said I have like a split personality. It's true. And you've seen the difference. You could see it, the aggression. And that's a dangerous person to have in that ring. So yeah, it's a big deal for me, man. It was awesome. And for me, it was like a lot of kinks, you know, it was kind of reminiscent to that old 2015 fight, you know, kind of doing the same thing, but it was like a restart for me. And now I'm excited about going forward and doing a lot more. That's for sure.
Right before you walked out, your manager and friend Abe Kawa was filming you on Instagram Live, so it was really cool to see that perspective. You were like right at the tunnel, and you guys were kind of standing around, waiting for your cue to walk out. And it was, you know, a good few minutes that you were standing there, but you were like you did not move. You had the hood over your head. You're wearing the cloak, the whole thing. Could you tell us what is going on in your mind in those moments as you're about to walk out? Because you were stoic. You did not budge an inch.
It was in the back room. I'm allowing, you know, I got things going on in my mind. How do I click into this? And I have to visualize some pretty dark things. And I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to freak people out. But I go to a very dark place because I'm visualizing. I'm making things up in my head. This person did these things to me. He did this to my family. He whatever. And I click into a mode, and there it was. It was like standing there. I was all of that.
Wow.
Me, I was one of the most dangerous human beings on the planet at that moment. These were the most devastating weapons in bare knuckle boxing at that moment. And I just was there. I took it. I held on to it and carried it right into that ring.
Have you done that for the majority of your career? I mean, I know you said in the uniform days it didn't really click, but have you always tried to go to that dark place? Or if not, when did that start?
No, honestly, when I came back, so in 2015, the Cloak, I did it for Matt Matrione. I was all of that. And Josh Barnett wasn't quite there because they came out, they made me take the Cloak off right before I walked out. And it did fuck with me a little bit. I was like, all right. And, you know, I got a great win against Josh, but I like right away in my interview, I was just like Ben. I was like happy guy. And I kind of wasn't there. And I got away with it, more or less. And then literally the fights after that, I was just Ben Rothwell. You know, I'm going to think about that. I was not who you saw last Saturday. I was not. And it cost me deeply. I lost a lot of fights that I should have won. And it's going to forever bother me. Like that I left the UFC the way I did. You know, Marcos de Lima got away with something in my mind. It's like, man, if you would have faced what was on Saturday, it would have been a totally different story. And I'll never let that go. And I have to remember Saturday night who I am and what I am when I become that.
Is that comforting? Yeah. To feel that again? Like when you were in that moment, feeling like, right? Familiar.
Yeah. It's like long time coming, man. I'm happy because I could have easily not gotten an opportunity to have that come out.
Right.
And that probably would have bothered me more than anything.
What are those deep thoughts that you're talking about? The dark thoughts. What are we talking about here?
I know you want to know, man, but I don't want to freak people out.
How weird is it? Like, how dark is it?
I take it to a level, man, where I'm like, I'm to a level that the person across from me is going to be fighting for their life.
Wow. That is intense. By the way, how are your hands feeling?
Truthfully, I've gotten done with fights before and not felt the thing and been always kind of prided myself with my hard hands and I could fight again. Dude, I couldn't believe it, man. My right hand was, people were trying to give me knucks yesterday. And I was like, I was like, my right hand's a little sore.
Wow.
But it was funny is because the main event, Quentin Henry, super nice guy, dude. That's another thing I want to say. The BKFC fighters, what a great group of guys, man, and women too. They've all been super cool, very welcoming to me. Really happy to help represent them. I want to blow this bare knuckle boxing through the roof, man. I want to take it to the stratosphere because it's a whole new group of stars we're going to create. But anyway, he made a comment. He said, yeah, they were interviewing him, and he said, well, bare knuckle, yeah, we're bare fist, but you won't throw your punches as hard. You know, guys can't throw their punches hard because it's bare knuckle. And I went, what, dude? I'm like, no, not me. I threw these things as hard as I possibly could. I didn't care. I'm going to break my hand right on your face. I don't care. And I guess that's what's different about me. And that's why these things are so dangerous. I'm not pulling back at all. No.
Any fear that you broke it?
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
You're good.
It's good again. It's just sore.
Since you had so much fun, is there any part of you, maybe a crazy question, you're like, man, I wish it lasted a little longer. Like, I wish I got a couple minutes in there. Or are you okay with the 3 second, 5 second, 19 second fight?
That was the interview, I guess, in my mind coming out after I said, I would say there's probably more questions. You know, it was so quick.
Yeah.
What did you really see of me? You know, just that highlight reel was the whole fight. I guess that's where I was going with that. No, I don't trust me. Everybody's happy that the fight was the way it was. But I guess that's the second fight. Next guy's like, oh, I ain't going to let Ben jump on me. He's going to move around me. He's going to go a little longer. But I'm going to end every fight like that. Like it does. I'm not going to stop.
That's got
and then if the guy's tough and can take it, then I'm going to do that I'm going to do that to him for a whole minute or 2 minutes or however long it takes. But my conditioning is ready, man. I'm ready for 5 2-minute rounds. It's almost like I'm cheating.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Literally, when I stood at the line ready with this guy, I looked across from him and I'm like, oh man, you don't know. Like, this is it. There's no takedowns. You can't kick me. These guys are in fucking trouble, Ariel. Let me tell you.
2-minute rounds. Like the last time you fought under 5-minute rounds, I mean, do you even remember?
Yeah, it's unreal to think about. Yeah. Because I can go hard for 5 minutes straight and then I get a 1-minute rest.
Yeah.
This is like, I go 2 minutes, I get a whole minute rest. I'm like, oh man, this is something.
Like one of the great debuts because they invest in you, they make a big deal about you. There's probably a part of you that you want to pay them back, right? Like you want to show that it was worth, their time, their money, their investment. So like afterwards, you got to feel amazing. You got to feel like this has to be one of the most gratifying moments of your career, right?
It's pretty good. All of that, and that was on my shoulders. Yeah, they're talking. I told one of the production guys, I'm like, yeah, this fight is gonna go one of two ways. Either I'm going to be a gigantic flop, so everybody can laugh about all they do this hype, and we've seen that happen before.
Yeah, tons of times.
In fact, I think it's even happened for them.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes.
Or exactly what I did. I'm all of that. Everything they promoted, I'm that and more. That's the way it had to be.
Were you nervous before? Like more than you've done it all. You've been, you've been everywhere, but more nervous?
Listen, there was nerves. They're always there. If they're not there, you should be worried. But not like the UFC.
Okay.
There was a huge stress relief in a sense, because like I said, once I got into the cage, I was just like, I felt, and Mike Tyson didn't come into my mind till after the fight. I was thinking about it. I went through, but I know how he felt. He made a comment. Mike Tyson said in the back room, he's like, man, you feel like a little bitch. And then you start walking to the cage and you kind of become a boy and you get closer and you're a man. And once you get in the cage, you become this animal. I'm like, yeah, I knew exactly. That's exactly how I felt.
Wow.
It was awesome.
When do you want to return?
I told him as soon as possible, but from what I'm hearing, I hope I'm not giving away too much. I heard there's a big event in February. It's going to be their Knucklemania.
Okay.
Abraham wants to get me on that.
All right. Well, congrats, Ben. Very happy for you. Great debut. Incredible stuff. That highlight, if you missed it, it's all over the internet. It's, it is the perfect debut. I mean, you mentioned it. They've signed some guys, gals that it didn't really work out. This, can't imagine them not being over the moon. So well done and continued success over there.
Well, thank you very much. It's always an honor to be on with you, man. I really appreciate the support.
Always.
Dude, you're the best.
Always. Thank you, Ben. Talk to you soon. There he is, Big Ben Rothwell. Great to see the old Ben Rothwell back.